Okay, so get this, right? Today we're going deep on something
See.
really interesting, really interesting.
Okay.
We're talking about online reviews
Mm-hmm.
for food, but specifically
Oh,
one single review of a Toby Carvery.
interesting.
Now, I know what you're thinking, Toby Carvery, come on, but
Yeah.
listen, everybody has their
350.
comfort food.
Yeah.
Like that thing that you just,
Oh,
it just hits the spot.
totally.
And for a lot of people, that's roast dinner, good roast.
Absolutely a Sunday roast.
So let's get into this review
Okay.
and see what it tells us about Toby Carvery. But maybe more importantly, what it tells us about like our expectations and the psychology behind comfort food.
Okay, I'm intrigued already.
Right.
Yeah.
It's a simple review.
Yeah.
But there's a lot there.
There's a lot to unpack.
Yeah, so they start off right by talking about good service,
Okay.
pleasant drinks,
Right.
which,
You would.
yeah, you would hope that would be like
That's like the bare
the
minimum.
baseline. Right. Like it shouldn't even be,
Yeah, it's not even worth mentioning, you'd think.
you wouldn't think you'd have to mention that, but it's interesting.
It is interesting though
It's not
because
opening
it does
impressions.
it really sets the tone.
Set the tone.
Like if you walk into a place and it's like dingy and the service is bad,
Oh, yeah.
you're already like, ugh, this food better be amazing.
You're already primed to like not enjoy it.
Yeah.
Oh,
And then even if the food is good, you're kind of like, huh, whatever.
you're already looking for things.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. To be wrong.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it's like if you walk in and it's like you said, they greet you, it's nice and clean.
Yeah, and the music's good.
Yeah, the music's not too loud.
Yeah, you can actually hear the person you're with.
Exactly. You're
Like,
right.
okay, I'm ready to enjoy this meal.
I'm already feeling good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
So that's really interesting they mentioned that.
Yeah, so maybe
And they obviously had a good experience because they go on to talk about the food.
they did. Yeah, so like what did they like about the food?
So they go through and they rave about the turkey,
Okay.
the gravy Yorkshire pudding,
Oh man.
the roasties,
Yeah.
the mash,
Like
even the peas and carrots. They gave a shout out to the peas and carrots.
I love it when even the sides get a mention.
Right. Like
That's
those are the
like,
things that
no, they're doing something right.
if they can make peas and carrots good, you know you're in for a treat.
Yeah, exactly. And it's interesting that they mention all those like those classic elements, right?
It's like the quintessential roast dinner.
It's like what you picture when you think of like a Sunday roast.
Yeah. And like you were saying before
Yeah.
about, how it makes you feel.
Comfort food.
Yeah.
Like that's
There's something about those dishes that just like,
it's like a warm hug on a plate.
yeah. It's like nostalgia,
Yeah.
It's like it takes you back.
Takes you back to your childhood.
Exactly. Sunday dinners at grandma's.
Exactly. Grandma's roast.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So
So
they definitely seem to be hitting those notes,
they hit those notes.
but wasn't all sunshine and roses,
Okay.
right? They did have some
There were some misses.
things that weren't quite up to par.
Okay, like what?
So they said the pork was a little bit fatty.
Okay.
The cauliflower cheese and the cheesy potatoes they thought were bland.
Oh no.
A little lacking in flavor.
The cheesy potatoes bland.
And the stuffing was a bit overcooked,
Oh, the stuffing, yeah.
which is a tragedy.
It's a shame when the stuffing's bad.
It is.
Yeah.
So it kind of makes you wonder,
Yeah.
like, how much
Like how much
variation are we willing to accept
are we willing to forgive
when we're
everything?
in pursuit of...
Yeah, when we're going for that comfort food experience. Right. Like,
Yeah.
are those little misses deal breakers or are they just like,
Are they part of the charm? Part of it.
you know, like I think about like my mom's cooking.
Yeah.
Like sometimes
Everyone's mom has an off day.
she burns the potatoes.
Yeah.
But like, I'm not going to be like, Mom, this is terrible.
You still eat it. You still love it
Yeah, exactly.
because it's your mom's and there's that emotional connection.
Yeah, there's that like emotional connection.
Yeah.
And it's the same with, I think, with comfort food in general.
Totally.
Like we have this like idealized version of it in our heads,
Yeah.
but like
Real life.
real life is messy.
It's not always perfect.
Not always perfect. Exactly.
So, I mean, despite these things,
Yeah.
this reviewer gave it a 7 out of 10,
Okay.
which,
Oh,
I mean,
no,
that's pretty decent.
pretty good.
It's not like amazing. It's not terrible.
It's like satisfactory.
Yeah, satisfactory, which kind of makes you wonder, like,
Yeah.
what would it take
What would it take
to get that 8 or 9?
to bump it up?
Yeah, like, what are your non-negotiables?
Yeah. What are your like?
When you're going for a carvery,
Yeah. What are those things that you're like, if this isn't right, I'm out?
I can't enjoy it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's the thing.
I think that's different for everyone.
It's so subjective. It's so personal,
Totally. Yeah.
right? Like, what I might think is amazing.
Yeah, you might be like, oh, this gravy's too thick. And
Yeah.
I'm like, no, that's how I like it.
It's all about what you grew up with.
Exactly.
What you're
These
used
are
right there.
personal preferences.
Well, I think this has been a really fascinating
This has been a good deep dive.
deep dive.
Yeah,
It's amazing how a simple review
it really is.
can spark
Just
such
how much conversation.
a big conversation
Yeah,
about food and culture and
and expectations.
yeah, psychology of comfort.
It's fascinating.
Yeah.
So
Even
as you think about your next Carvery experience,
yes.
I want you to consider this.
Okay.
Does consistency really matter
Comfort food.
in comfort food? Or are those little misses
Ooh.
part of what makes it so special?
Ooh, that's a good question.
Something to think about.
Yeah, someone to ponder.
Yeah,
Well, thanks for joining us on this very delicious deep dive.
absolutely.
Until next time, happy eating, everyone.
Happy